Tisha Douglas. Lonnie Carr's here. Lizzie, Amara here. Thank you. Ben Baxley. Here. James Kuzneri. Here. Thank you. All right, every member has the agenda. I will look for a motion to approve the agenda. Make a motion to approve the agenda. Second. Agenda is approved. Okay. Now we do have one citizen statement. Ms. Kanika Faye, come on over. As a reminder, you have 3 minutes, please.
All right. Hello, committee members. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for doing this work. This is very difficult. My name is Kanika Faye. I am Wiley family. I brought with me, kindergarten, flyer that we work to say Wiley School from 2010, and it's called without saying how to understand Wiley community. We all know that we closed Wiley School and opened Sixth Grade Center. Now, with your help, we can move forward. I hope that we can move forward constructively, respectfully, and consider our students, teachers, staff, community members, because we cannot achieve without missing one of them. So, with that said, I want to provide a background. To some, Wiley School means Mrs. Wiley, rightfully so. But to many, Wiley School means so much, means the history, the legacy that we all endure and we sacrifice for the whole school district to thrive. So, in order for us to heal and move on, I, as one of the parents, would like to feel that our sacrifice has been seen. So, what you guys do is so important. By recommending the name alone, not gonna cut it. Forcing somebody to accept name is not gonna cut it. We need more. Why are we doing this? Community deserves the answer. If we do is to acknowledge educator, female educator, guess what? We have one in front of us, doing hard work every day. We need more than the building's name to recognize hard work of teachers that put into this community every single day. What are we doing about it? So this movement, this important point of history in Urbana deserves enough consideration. We need to come together and know what are we doing. If we're gonna recognize the sacrifice of the Wiley community for all these years, I would like to think that recognize Wiley library and educate people why Wiley is important. I would go first to my first grade teacher, our Quisenberry Outdoor Classroom. I think about Timo Jones, who we love so much, and he passed away, and we cried because this man loved Wiley students so much that everybody just show up and do whatever he said. So with that, please put a lot of thought into this process. Don't stop at the name. We need much more than that to recognize people who sacrifice. We have not been received enough of your consideration. We just said, okay, done. I mean, I know you don't mean that, but that's how it comes across. Let's recognize that, and let's move on to Wiley, to Thomas Paine, to Leo, to every student that comes through this and know about Wiley history. And then this will be the center for all of our Urbana students. Whatever you guys decide, please do that in a way that you give us the respect that we deserve. Thank you so much for your work and your consideration.
Thank you very much. citizen statement we have. We're going to move on to the next item in our agenda, to 5.0, and a review of our norms with 5.1. We will listen to opinions openly and respectfully, one speaker at a time, assume positive intent, expect to be uncomfortable at times, so honor and respect one another's voice. Make sure your phone is on silent if it isn't already, and to stay on time. We do have an action item. We have our minutes that we need to approve for November 3rd. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from November 3rd? I'll second it. So moved. And now we open up for our group discussion. First, we're going to start with 7.1, which is a review of the options before us in the charge. A, establishing the building's name as the Flossie Wiley Sixth Grade Center. B, establishing the building's name as Urbana Sixth Grade Center, which follows the district's name conventions for consistency and simplicity purposes, like the Urbana Early Childhood School, Urbana Middle School, Urbana High School, and Urbana Adult Education Center. C, if the name of the building is the Urbana Sixth Grade Center, then the options are to name the library in the building the Flossie Wiley Library, to name the current community garden the Flossie Wiley Garden, name the gymnasium in the building the Flossie Wiley Gymnasium, or other suggestions that are brought by the naming facilities committee. Any questions about that? All right, when we concluded our last meeting, we had some tasks that that naming committee members wanted us to review and research so that they can be shared today. 7.2, a review of our tasks. I believe Mr. Roosmer was asked to make a list of things that would need to be changed if the name is voted to change, knowing that the naming changes would take place during the summer of 2000.
And so this list was compiled just by sharing a quick request with the IT team and other departments of things that they would have to change, given the broad scope of changing the name, whether it means changing the name with the state and everything else, or changing the code, or changing the RCBCS code. So it's not a canonical or exhaustive list. It is a list from the people who would be responsible for those things with an estimation of how difficult it would be. If it's easy, that would be kind of less than an hour, a quick change they can make. If it's medium, that would be kind of 1 to 10 hours, and then if it's hard or extremely hard, those would be things that were beyond 10 hours worth of time.
Are there any questions about the list that have been shared?
Oh, and I'm sorry. I think also at the very bottom there, Member Duvall had asked for a summary of the cost of the signage, and that's a summary of the cost that we had pulled from the FOIA that we had available. With some additional estimates for the things that came about after that.
Okay, so John, just to clarify, these obviously are time-consuming things that the meeting would work. This is on top of your other job. I mean, or the people like to do that. So this is an added duty on top of what people are expected to do. I just want to put it on the record that this is a lot to do, and to put that on top of your everyday job. I just want to recognize.
This is probably not listed in anybody's daily job description.
But you're going to do this on top of your job.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to put on the record. Thank you.
So go ahead. The Iowa's RCBTS code is how they encode our schools with the state. That's what we use to do all of the reporting to the state. That's how it get your retirement and everything else. Very important number.
And I just want to clarify for the record that the $64,000 that was the bottom of the second page is just for signage, those 5 items.
That's just for those 5.
Just for those signage, that has nothing to do with
Yes.
the other, correct?
I have it on a separate sheet.
No, that's great, so 65 plus whatever this process, thank you.
Marquee is the digital sign on the corner that has the, you can change the message. That is that's about how much they cost. They're, yeah.
They're called monument signs because they cost money.
Very happy.
So for the horrible ones, do those take more than the sign?
And I kind of listed it there. Those are ones that, like, the hard ones, take more than 10 hours, but we have some idea of how long they would take. The ones that I think somebody had horrible on there, that we listed as horrible, those are things that we had some really tough problems with, like getting set up for the 6th grade center, and if we were to have those same kind of problems, like we just don't know how long it would take. I think I mentioned anecdotally last year, the school messenger one, they thought it was all working, like it was impossible to get them to, their support people to make the changes we needed that we made. When we finally did think all the changes were made, everything looked like it was processing correctly, but things still weren't going out correctly, and it had some pretty detrimental effects for the communication in the first buildings of school.
Yeah.
So that's an example of those, but if you have any other specific questions, I can give other stories of horrible things that happened switching at the start of the school year.
Have we fixed all the issues that you were talking about with the began this year?
We have fixed all the issues I know about.
Okay. So to change, you could be jumping it up in the beginning. After we just got it all.
Yeah, all of this stuff would have to get changed
Okay.
again.
Any other questions regarding this list? The next item up was, we were asked to, research when did the administration decide to use the name? I think in the last meeting, we, addressed that it wasn't, it just came about naturally, in the course, when the district was deciding that this was going to open as a 6th grade center, it wasn't really anything direct that was stated, that we're naming it this. It just became how the building was referenced.
And if you want the dates, I think.
So I did a little research on last year. So the district facility committee meetings were held on May 31st, 6/14, 6/21, 7/11, 7/25, and final date August 2nd. August 22nd, the final report by the 2 vice president co-chairs gave a presentation to the board. Then there was public hearings held by the board on 9/5, 9/19, 10/3, with 0 citizens present on 9/5, 1 citizen commented 9/19, 5 citizens commented on 10 during 10/3 public meeting. There was a brief reshare of the recommendation on October 3rd, with approval happening on that same during the same meeting. And it was always briefly referenced as 6th grade center, so that's what we want.
Any questions? Or any further?
I should say 2023. And all of it.
Those were 2024.
Any clarifying questions? Next up, what was the process in keeping the name of the building during previous building use changes? I believe I understand there was no formal process. I defer to our board members if there was.
The facility naming committee portion of the policy became policy
information that we're going to share from the member Quisenberry. Did you want to present it yourself?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially, I just provided two things. One was petition that was shared on change.org, which started in early August, and it includes the text that was with the petition and the signatures. And then the comments that were added to when you sign up petitions, which are when you can offer comments. So that's what's in, that's the collection of information that came out. The other thing that I shared, we can just pass that on. The other thing that I shared was correspondence that I had with Paul Flossie. There's been some, this is just a feeling that I've had, that there's a feeling that this question was raised kind of at the last minute in August. But in fact, it had been a question for quite a while. I had asked Paul about the meeting process in January of 2025, and then he and I shared some email after that, wherein he shared our meeting policy, and he also did not know exactly when the meeting settled on at that time. So for anyone who had got the sense that this was something that just came up and was supposed to be occurred in late summer of this year, it was a question that hadn't been raised previously without an answer. This group could have started February of this year and taken care of this back then. They were taking care of it 2 years ago at that time. It was discussed with the record of the school district board meetings. But it's not something that somebody will look on in August and say, why is this name?
You all want to take a minute to read it? If you're finished reading, we can open the floor for discussion of what's listed in the letter. If you have some clarifying questions from Mr. Quisenberry, we can ask those.
Do we still have the class available? Needed to be used for, the north and south wings of the original school?
Oh, that's actually something different. There's a proposal in there to add to the list of options. If you're ready for me to talk about that, I can talk about that. Okay, so,
And that's what, real quick,
is fundamental thing that I think we all agree on is nobody wants to spend $80,000 at this point that otherwise can spend supporting the students. And so I thought about a path that might make this not important, make the cost relatively minor, and that was and was connected to kind of recognition that I think is of the proper magnitude to what we previously had. And that was to, in the same light of the Prairie campus, where Dr. Preston's elementary school and the childhood school is, that this complex be formally named, it is already the Urbana Sixth Grade Center, but that the part of the building, the wings, the north and the south wing, if you will, be designated the Flossie Wiley wing of the Urbana Sixth Grade Center. That's I would say that's an honorific name. It would probably not need to be a functional name, but what would go along with it would be, as I suggested, maybe not what we're clear, that recognize that this was the former Wiley Elementary School that was named after Flossie Wiley and her heritage was here. And so some might say, well, it's kind of messy. We usually particularly satisfied in that process. So that's kind of how the sausage is made when you're trying to accomplish things. It does give the Sixth Grade Center its identity moving forward. It doesn't require that the Wiley name be used in that process in case there are individuals who have a bad experience with Wiley. But it does recognize the part of the building that was Wiley Elementary School and the educator that was a part of this place. I can say that because I was very familiar. But I think of Joan Fort Snyder, I think of Nancy Mansell, I think of Flossie Washington, I think of Ellen Walton, I think of the teachers that led the community that Wiley was over a long time. And I think of a student or a former student or a former teacher or a community member being able to be in the building and see something on the wall that says, this was once Wiley School, so that they have that touch point to the history of what this place was without taking anything away from what we did. That's sort of a suggestion.
Thank you for sharing. We can, and I just want to go back and review the 7.1 review of options D. It does say that we have other suggestions by the Naming Facilities Committee, and so we can definitely add this to the list of our considerations when we are prepared to make a decision.
If I could add just a little bit more, I think the idea of the library as a Flossie Wiley, come from good places, but the library wasn't part of the Flossie Wiley School. It was part of the youth club, right? And frankly, while garden is a good choice, if you have any experience with gardens at elementary schools, you know they tend to get run over or neglected, or 5 years later, 10 years later, they don't exist. There was one in front of Wiley Elementary School that was a recognition. I think of Shirley Splitsoe, and it was neglected. She was a favorite. So that's why I was going to talk about the way the department building that was as a part of that suggestion.
Look a little bit grander and say,
property from Pennsylvania to Florida, Wiley to Anderson is the Flossie Wiley campus. And this is the Sixth Grade Center.
That's a similar path,
Yeah.
and it seems more functional necessarily. When I used to hear some feedback that using the way feelings that one of us
Seems like you're relegating it to just the old footprint, the original school. Granted, those were, as far as I know, the new additions, just the extras. And. So, okay, yeah, maybe it's still, that section, that wing is still white. It's just not called, it's not the name of the school.
and usually that's the right thing
Right, it's the original size.
I could support that.
Some sort of signage that threshold crossover into the.
And
Any other comments or questions or clarifying points?
Yeah, I would like to go back to saying that when I was on the committee to make this, to the school, I was really in favor of 5 schools coming together to one to unite. And so I love the idea of the garden or the library. I just feel that it doesn't feel, to me, it doesn't feel uniting to call this the Wiley Building. We are all Urbana. We are all came here together to recruit. For everybody to learn to get to know each other and or to build a new community. We have 5 schools now, we're going to build a new community. And I think to put anybody's name on, I think you don't have a name for the middle school or high school. And I just think that we're trying to move forward and not forget Wiley. I think it's very important she's in the school. And I like your campus idea. But I think that the reason I voted the way I did is seeing 5 schools come to one, to be one, so when we move on to the middle school, it's easier. I just put it there again.
Oh, when I was in junior high, it was called junior high. What happened when it called the middle school? Was it the same process?
I didn't look that up, like. But yeah, I don't think it was, I think it was because it was, correct me if I'm wrong for all the parents folks here, but the middle school, junior high was just 7th and 8th and 9th grade.
During construction.
And then the 9th grade eventually went to the high school.
That was my year.
Okay, and then the 6th grade joined the middle school. But again, back in that time period, I think it was the board just decided to do what the board wanted to do. There was no formal process. Is that's
Process came in 2000.
2000, that process came in 2000.
Was Wilkins in middle school? At that point, it was no longer middle school.
No, that was a
Junior high.
Oh,
junior high.
2 grades.
oh, there are 2 juniors.
Was it run by department or by teams?
I don't know. That was before my.
That would be the difference between junior high and high school. It's one of the big differences. Yeah.
Teams,
Yeah, middle schools have teams, junior high is more fashion, like,
And what is this? What is middle school? Middle school.
Any other questions or comments? We also did receive, I know the board, I received, communication, from community members. I referred to our board members to see if we want those, how those will be addressed.
I have one.
for another proposed facility name. Specifically, the proposal is to name the Urbana Sixth Grade Center at Flossie Wiley School. If a naming facilities committee member wants to submit this as another option, this is something that we can consider in accordance with 7.1. This is another option that we're considering in addition to Mr. Quisenberry's option, Member Quisenberry's option, to either name the facility Urbana Sixth Grade Center at Flossie Wiley School, and then the option to consider either, if we're sticking with the Sixth Grade Center, to name the part of the building that is the old Flossie Wiley building, to maintain that, or Flossie Wiley Wing. I believe there was also an option to name the campus, Flossie Wiley campus, on which the Sixth Grade Center sits. When we get to that point, we can determine which of these options we want to move forward with. And so at this time, unless there is additional points we want to discuss or further explore, I'll leave that open to anyone. We have another option to consider or have. Hearing none, we are going to now head on to 8.0, future of the committee. We'll start with 8.1, which is a straw poll to see, are we ready to make a decision or cast a vote one way or the other on one of the options that have been presented? Or do we want to move forward with some additional tasks that we feel we need before we can make that decision? Yes.
I did hear some positive feedback to the idea of the Urbana Sixth Grade Center being also on campus. If you're ready to start with that, if you support that.
We can
I
absolutely.
think that addresses a lot of the things that we talked about.
All right, Ms. Mary, yes, I do. We can put that up. A straw poll to see where we all stand with the consideration of the Flossie Wiley campus development as their benefit. So if you are in agreement, you want to vote to see if we're going to add it to the straw poll. Okay. Straw poll for that.
Vote to add to the consideration.
Yes.
To add it for
Add it for consideration. And then we can along with the others. And I'll start.
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
We're not.
oh, there
He's
you
excited.
go.
They don't need a motion.
Gotcha. It is now added as one of the options we have. Would we like to entertain an option, a straw poll, to remove any of the options that were already named? You want to add that as an option, a straw poll for that option as well, or are you?
I would leave it yes, it's a
Yeah,
obviously,
absolutely.
I would have consent, because that would really support the consent of that action.
Straw poll for Member Quisenberry's option 2 to add a name as the Wiley Wing in your campus. Okay, we'll start on this side.
Yes.
Yes. And so that option is added as well. Absolutely.
Let me just say, I feel better having more options.
Absolutely.
You want to pigeonhole just two.
Absolutely. All right. Do we feel then we have reached the point where we can entertain a vote on one of the options that we so added? Or do we want to add an additional task because we need to do some further research?
That's a clarifying question. So now we have about 7 options. So as far as the voting goes, are we going to vote each one up and down the list, or are we all voting on?
I'd like to start with actually removing some that there is no agreement on. absolutely no, let's remove those so that we have, a solid 3 options.
I would suggest removing
Item A. Item A is establishing the building's name as the Flossie Wiley Sixth Grade Center. Is there a consensus we all agree to remove item A? We can start. Yeah, we'll start. Whoever, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. Are we moving item A? Yes.
Just because if all the items that have been brought to the table today, as far as naming are considered, we did have the one that would fall underneath 7.1 option B of Urbana Sixth Grade Center at Flossie Wiley School. Now that we're talking about removing, we never brought this one to the table. I don't know if that's something that is appropriate to do, to say whether or not we would like to remove it because it has been brought to the table, or we just kind of go over it. I'm just asking for
Absolutely. You are correct, we did not do a straw poll to add it, or remove it. So we can do a straw poll, do we want to add Urbana Sixth Grade Center at Flossie Wiley School as an option, on which to vote? So we'll do a straw poll, I'm always going this direction. No, we are not adding it. Yes, we are. No.
Another clarification,
Yes.
the bullet points under C seem to be something that we can consider if we make a particular choice.
Correct.
Combinations.
Correct. Yes. Does everyone understand that? Yeah, the bullet points under C are only if we're making a specific choice. That's correct. So right now, what we have on the table is letter B, establishing the building's name as Urbana Sixth Grade Center. We also have the option to establish part of the Sixth Grade Center as Flossie Wiley Building or Flossie Wiley Wing, or we have Flossie Wiley Campus with the Sixth Grade Center as the building. Does anyone need me to clarify or repeat those options? Now, at this point, do we want to remove an additional one off of the table?
I would say, the bullet point, if it's Urbana Sixth Grade Center, make it a garden.
And this is, just to clarify, this is if we vote a particular way for letter C. We are taking a straw poll to see if there are options under C that we absolutely want to remove. So it is suggested that we remove the garden based on what member President shared about the garden. So straw poll, we are in agreement, we're going to remove the garden option. Remove.
And for what it's worth, I think the sign is still by the garden, that still says Wiley approved. Which is fine if people call that familiarly.
Yeah, the signage that is out there right now says the Wiley Community Garden.
I think we should leave this.
So,
Like, we don't need to tear down this.
I did also hear member Quisenberry say that the library was not there when Flossie Wiley was part of the building. So I am moving to that we remove that as an option. And we can straw poll that whether or not we want to keep that or remove it. So yes, we want to keep that as an option, or remove it. We want to remove that as an option. Start with member Quisenberry.
I'm gonna say keep it around until we
Get that. So keep library, the library.
I would like to keep the last, I think it's the actual place that's a little bit more substantial than 90.
didn't really talk much about, the naming of the gym. So is that an option? You want to keep or remove, straw poll, keep or remove?
My question is, you brought up the provider raised to be able to disability. Is the gymnasium the same or is it?
Yes.
It's new as well, okay, thank you.
Remove. 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 All right, just to recap for those of us who need a recap, the options we have for the building itself is to name it either the Urbana Sixth Grade Center or name Urbana Sixth Grade Center with Flossie Wiley Building, specifically named, or Flossie Wiley Wing, or the Flossie Wiley Campus with the Urbana Sixth Grade Center building. So those are the three top options. If we go with Urbana Sixth Grade Center, we have two options, naming the library, the building, the Flossie Wiley Library. And actually, we did remove the other two. So, just, are there any other options that the naming committee wants to consider if the vote goes that particular direction? Or are we fine with saying if the decision is Urbana Sixth Grade Center, then the option is to name Flossie Wiley Library? That's a way to honor Flossie Wiley.
Can I add clarification on the two options? So for the Wiley building, the sixth grade center with the Wiley building separate is separate from the naming of the center logically with the state and the programs that we have here. And then similarly, the sixth grade center on the Wiley campus is separate from the naming of the state and the programs we have here. I just want to clarify that on the record.
We want to make that one.
Sorry, you just confused me. So what you just said isn't gonna cost any more money, right? Or did you say it wasn't gonna make?
The one, I think, you had suggested putting a plat, I think either way.
Right, but not big money, confusion money.
Not changing,
Okay, thank you.
not changing the primary side
Gotcha, right, thank you.
or the state naming or like any of the database names.
Gotcha, thank you.
Alright, no other, options that the naming committee wants to submit for if we all do that one direction.
My son said name the Fox back in school.
Alright.
Another 20 years.
Now, at this point, do we want to narrow it down to two options? Are we ready for a straw poll in that so that we can cast a vote? Or do we need to add more tasks to the research? Thank you for sharing your thoughts about it.
9 minutes till
Yeah,
7.
9 minutes.
I don't see why we need to keep Urbana Sixth Grade Center alone. It's truly not going to be fair to everyone. We could do something. So that's my 2 cents.
But would doing the other things change the actual name if it's not gonna change what the state and it's not gonna?
No, so the state is Urbana Sixth Grade Center, and then there should be sort of a subtitle, a subheader on one of the campus or a plat.
So I think what you're saying is it sounds like now the three options are sixth grade center, the Wiley Library, Wiley
Wing.
building at the sixth grade center, or sixth grade center on the Wiley campus are the three options. Essentially, since we removed part C, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Everyone have clarity on that? Any questions? Okay. So what I heard last was, we should remove letter C as far as Urbana Sixth Grade Center, just that by itself because.
Is that letter B?
Keep
Oh,
Urbana
sorry,
Sixth.
B.
No, it's B. It's B.
Yeah, letter B.
Yeah. I was wondering.
Because it's not fair to everyone, and because, what we're proposing, at least right now, would not change how we are for the Urbana Sixth Grade Center, with Wiley, with the commemorative plaque saying this is the Wiley Wing or Wiley Park.
Or if you look into the sixth grade center, the library, there's also some going on.
Alright, and so are we taking, letter C completely off Urbana Sixth Grade Center with the
I think
Flossie
we're just
Wiley?
combining the
Yeah.
Right, since we got rid of all the subparts, because that's what I understood.
Yeah.
Is all that?
Straw poll.
Not all subparts are removed. Because C is, if the name of the building is Urbana Sixth Grade Center, name the library in the building Flossie Wiley Library. So that is not removed.
But that's now basically one, so the.
So B and C should have been,
I see.
Kind of.
We still have that option. Okay. So I see.
Is that combined together, that makes sense. Alright. Now, are we ready for a vote? Keeping in mind that we only have 6 minutes left, probably less than that. Well, let's drop roll if we're ready for a vote. There's some confused faces, so, is there something else that we need before we're ready? So, the options are Urbana Sixth Grade Center, right, with the option to name the library Flossie Wiley Library. Okay. The option is Urbana Sixth Grade Center with the Flossie Wiley Wing. Urbana Sixth Grade Center on the Flossie Wiley campus.
Okay, I was looking for the pool, but it's already confused. Okay, thank you.
If I missed anything. In the last 4.5 minutes, are we ready to cast the vote? Or do we want to remove one of those 3 options to bring it down to 2?
I think the on campus, it just sounds like such a no. When I talk to somebody, I'm gonna say the sixth grade center, not the sixth grade center, Riley, I'm gonna use the committee, what the name is. Like, it just seems very wordy, and I'm not sure how often people will use that.
We don't always have to use that it's on Flossie Wiley campus. It's just.
They don't move.
Oh, just the official name.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay, gotcha,
Yeah,
okay.
just like the third.
It's not functional.
Yeah, to be fair, I worked here for years, and I had no idea what people were talking about when they said prayer. So it's just the campus.
Can I make a, I don't know if this is in order, can I suggest that we extend our time? I don't want people to feel like this is rushed, or that we. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can start without me this week.
Okay,
We need to go.
I'm
Would you
sorry.
agree to leave right at 7?
may I suggest something? Due to time, if you move to a vote, you're still gonna have to reconvene because you're gonna have to develop the recommendation that you're gonna present to the Board of Education. So you could either just adjourn this meeting, set another meeting, and that's when you do the vote and you develop the recommendation.
I don't want people to feel like we're rushing.
I agree. Alright, so, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting with the intent to, well, actually, before I do that, let's schedule the next meeting. So, last time, we polled, not everyone is available on November 17th. And so I know, member Quisenberry, you can be here after the 20th, is that correct? A day after the 20th. Okay. If you all can take a look at your calendars and see if you're available on the 24th, which is another Monday.
It's Thanksgiving week.
It is. done before, otherwise we'll be waiting until after Thanksgiving break.
I had marked the 19th as that could come on the doodle poll, but that's our annual turkey giveaway the district does. If that's the only option, of course, I can work with it.
And we have like maybe about 30 seconds before 7 o'clock when the Quincy needs to get out to his next meeting, so.
Is it appropriate if I send another doodle poll?
I was about to
Poll
say,
for the 24th
we can
after,
poll.
so that like those 2 weeks? Okay.
All right, then, is there a motion to adjourn?
Can we add the 21st, even though it is a Friday to that doodle poll?
All right, there was, a motion to adjourn, and it was seconded, I believe, so meeting is adjourned at 6:59.
And who motion?
Who seconded?
Did anyone second the adjournment?
I did, but I'll second